Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of the Prefix. Thank you all for tuning in to the first episode of many. This is a new series that I'm starting on this channel, and I go over the lineups, the managers, press conferences, news of injuries, or just team news in general. And the fourth thing is the fifth stand app predictions. So all you Chelsea fans, if you don't have the app yet, I will leave a link up here or up here, so do download the app and get involved. But today we are going to preview the Sheffield United versus Chelsea game. So it's an important game in terms of what our goals are for the season. And since we had such a unique season with the sacking of Frank Lampard and the hiring of Thomas Tuchel, I think that our goal is pretty much set and clear in stone. It is to make it to top four. There's no beating around the bush on that. There are no alternatives, and there is no leeway for failure. That is the minimum requirement of anybody working in this team or working for this team. No matter who's the coach, no matter what has happened in the season, no matter what kind of season it is, and no matter who's playing for the club, the minimum requirement is top four. And so because of that, this game is going to be very important, because this will help us leap into the race for top four. United are dropping points, Liverpool are dropping points, West Ham are dropping points, Leicester are dropping points. We have a clear path now. Today, if we get the 3 points, we are 1 point away from Liverpool, and we are sitting sweet in 5th spot. Obviously, we have a long ways to go, but this is going to be a first step of many towards the title race and the top 4 race. So let's talk about Sheffield last season versus this season. I think that is very important to understand their dynamic, because Sheffield have not made the best starts of the season to their season this time around. Last season they kind of surprised every single team in the Premier League, and they were the dark horse of the Premier League last season. They were beating teams, and they beat Chelsea in the reverse fixture 3-0 at Stamford Bridge, which is the horrifying defeat, and one that Frank Lampard said that he learned a lot about the players from that game. But it's an important fixture this time. We beat them around in the first part of the season. We beat them 4-1, and there was a comfortable lead after we conceded the one goal from McGoldrick, which was actually a very, very cute goal to score. I will give them that. It was very, very well worked. They outnumbered us in the corner. It was 2 versus 1 there. It was poor defending from us, and it was just a carbon copy of a training goal. So you have to put some amount of respect on Sheffield United, because if there's one thing you learn from the Premier League, is you cannot underestimate your opponent, because anything can happen. Now, moving on from that, I think both teams are coming from a different place, but the thing that they have in common is they're both coming from wins. Chelsea are coming from a 1-0 win against Spurs, which is a very, very important win that propelled us up in the table towards the top 4. And Sheffield are coming into their first good spell of wins. They won against Manchester United. They lost to Man City, but that was a very tiny margin. There was 1-0 to Manchester City is not a loss in my eyes. It is, of course, point-wise it is a loss, but that shows how far they've come. And the midweek game against West Brom, where they won 2-1. So very, 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 very interesting time to have this game, and both teams are looking to kind of turn the season around, and I think this game is going to be pivotal for both teams. So without any further ado, let's get into my predicted lineup. Now, under Thomas Tuchel, obviously, you can't really predict what team he's going to put out. We haven't been able to gauge what kind of system and what kind of style of football he wants to play exactly, but we are kind of seeing a small picture, small sneak peek into what he's trying to do. And with that sneak peek, we have a few constant players who are going to be featuring in the match squad for today. So first and foremost, the formation I think is going to be a 3-4-2-1. Two number 10s and a striker up front. I think he's gone with this formation because we have a plethora of attacking talent, and we have, uh, I think, a leaky defense, and so having uh, three center backs really bolsters that line of defense, in my opinion, and helps Chelsea to also start a number of attacking players. And having those two holding midfielders in the midfield, running the show, defending, calling the shots, moving the team around, dictating the play. I think that really is helping Chelsea to move forward and take the game to where Thomas Tuchel wants it to be. Now, with that being said, let's go over who I'm going to pick for goalkeeper, and that's pretty obvious decision, and it is Edouard Mendy in goal for me. He he just hit 10 clean sheets, and I'm very very happy for him. He's a I think in the middle towards the end of Frank Lampard's tenure was a very nervy patch for him, but I still think he's one of the better keepers in the league, and I think today is another day for him to keep another clean sheet. So um, I've got him at goalkeeper. Now let's move on to the defense. The center mid, no, center back. Sorry, the center back for me has got to be Zuma. Thiago Silva just got injured. He's got a thigh injury, and I'm not sure how long he's going to be out. But it seems like maybe he returned for the game against Atletico, or the game against Newcastle, or the game against Southampton. Sorry, I think he will be back for the game against Southampton. But till then, Zuma has been training with the team, and I think I don't want uh, to to not rate Christensen, because I do rate him as a really good centre back, and I would pick him over Rudiger. Um, but I think Zuma has more physicality, he's more pace, he's more height, and I think overall, I think he's got the ability to hold and stitch that defense together. And having both Azpilicueta, an experienced guy, and Rudiger, another international experienced player, on either side of him would really help him to come into his comfort zone there in defense. Now, I think I've already kind of released who I'm going to pick on the right, and that's going to be Cesar Azpilicueta, our captain. And so I think over the last couple of games, he's just been undroppable. You can't not play Azpilicueta. With his defensive abilities, with his attacking prowess, with the decision making to go up front, when to go up front, when to stay back and defend. All those decisions require a whole lot of experience, and he has a plethora of experience to go off of. And with that experience, he coupled with his leadership skills to manage the team, manage the confidence levels, to keep the team going till the last minute. I think he's made himself undroppable, and I'm gonna go with Aspilicueta on the right hand side of the three center backs. On the left hand side, I am going to go for Rudiger. I think over the last few games, even though he hasn't played exceptionally well, he's done his part. I think he's done his bit. He's not really put a wrong foot forward, and I think he's done the bare minimum to be in this team, and that's the only reason why I'm picking Rudiger. Um, Moving on to the four in midfield, starting from the right hand side. This was a very tricky position for me to choose for, because we do have Reece James available, and he did play last game, and he was quite good on the right hand side. We were finding the most amount of success on the right hand side. Um, in this game, I do not think that crossing is going to be the best option because of three centre backs and that Sheffield have who are aerially dominant. I do not think that competing with them at their own game is the way to go, and hence I'm going to go with Callum Hudson-Odoi. I do not think we would need Reece James and his crossing abilities on the right hand side. We would be much more helpful to have the skill, the ideas, the creativity, the pace of Callum Hudson-Odoi to penetrate and to catch Sheffield unawares. That's why I'm going with Hudson-Odoi on the right hand side. In the middle, it's got to be the bromance of Jovacic. That the Jorginho Kovacic partnership is something that is growing under Thomas Tuchel and it's blossoming beautifully. I love to see them stitch those 1-2 passes, getting out of the press. And Kovacic is pretty much untouchable when he has the ball. Absolute intelligent dribbler, very Eden Hazard like, if I might say so, with a I don't know. He's got the ideas and the playing style of someone like Iniesta. It reminds me of Iniesta a bit. The way he dribbles past players, and it's quite a combination he's got. If only he had the finishing boots on to be much more clinical, I think he would be the best midfielder in the world. But moving on, Jorginho and Kovacic in the midfield. Jorginho actually played so well last game. I think Mason Mount got the man of the match, but if not for Mason Mount, I would have given that man of the match award to Jorginho. I think he had a very, very good performance. He scored the winner, obviously. But that penalty though. That penalty though. He meant business with that penalty. He meant business. He was not messing around with that. There was no hop, skip, and jump. There was just, this is going in. That was going in the bottom corner, and he punted through that ball, man. That was a good penalty. That is what we need. This is the kind of leaders we need in this team. The kind of players to go out and put it on the line, be decisive. And this is what I love to see from Jorginho. And yeah, he keeps his place in the squad as well. Moving on the left, this was a tough decision to make because I really like Benjamin Chilwell. I really like him. I feel like he's one of the better centre backs if not the best center left back in the league. Obviously now with the resurrection of Marcus Alonso, Chilwell is kind of, I don't know if he's fallen out of favor or he's just not been able to push for that place in the team. I felt like towards the end of Frank Lampard's tenure, Chilwell wasn't really providing much of an attacking outlet as he used to at the start of that 17-game unbeaten run that we had. He was more running up there. He would get the ball and he'd pass it backward or he'd pass it sideways, and that was the extent of it. The only time he was a real threat was that Aston Villa game where he had the volley and that hit the post. That was a really good shot, but there was not much of a contribution from Ben Chilwell. So I think now Chilwell is being made to fight for his spot in this team with the resurrection of Marcus Alonso. Besides that, I do not think that Marcus Alonso has really stepped a foot wrong in the 3 games that he's played. 2 games, sorry. Obviously, that stunner against Burnley was just over exceeding our expectations. No one expected that from him after having not played for months on end. So, I think Marcus Alonso has made himself kind of undroppable in this team with the performances that he's putting out right now. I think he could even grab a goal or two. I don't know who decided to make Marcus Alonso a defender. Honestly, why is he a defender? He's so comfortable in the attacking positions that he should have been like a winger or a midfielder or something like that. And he's got the height of a number 9, and he's got the pace of a winger. He's got the technicalities and the technical abilities of a midfielder. Why is he a defender? Why is he a left wing back? Honestly, but I mean, glad he is though. He's made that position his own. Honestly, I've been talking for a bit. Let me just sip my tea. Okay, the next positions are very vital positions. The top three positions, the two number 10s I'm gonna go for, uh, has to be Mason Mount. Mason Mount has to play. He he is developed into a proper baller under Thomas Tuchel, and it's not happened all of a sudden. Okay, we've seen his growth over the last two seasons. When at Derby County, he was really finding his feet under Frank Lampard. He was kind of finding his perfect position. He was putting in assists, he was putting in goals, and then he was called up to play in the top flight in the big boy leagues. And boy, did he perform! He played, I think, every game barring 3 games that season. He's played literally every single game that season. Um, so I think he really found himself, and that coupled that with his hard working. Every single manager that talks about Mason Mount, no matter who it is, Gareth Southgate, Frank Lampard, or Thomas Tuchel, all of them talk about his attitude, his hard work. He puts in 120%, and that is not off the question. He puts in 120% in training every single day, and so on match day it becomes normal for him to put in that much effort, and we see that effort. Him asking for the ball, he wanted to get on the ball. You shouted, Jorginho, pass the ball to me. You shouted so and so, pass the ball to me. He take the ball, turn, and then so eager to kind of make a difference and prove a point. And in that, I feel he's losing out on the clinical aspect of his finishing, but I think that will come. That will come. You know, Mason Mount. He's one of my favorite players in the squad. Honestly, one of my favorite players in the squad. Um, and Yeah, he's made himself undroppable. So he's definitely playing in on the maybe in the left side of the number 10 position, and on the right side is going to be a man that hasn't played under Thomas Tuchel. I think he was in the red zone and or very close to getting injured when Thomas Tuchel arrived, and so I think he has warranted his start after you know playing very very well in the training. I've seen, like, if you haven't seen the Chelsea Unseen videos, you should check out their channel. I'm going to leave a link up here, or check the description down below. I will leave a link for their channel. Go check out the training videos. Honestly, it's really really fun to watch, to see how the players are interacting with each other, to see how well they're gelling, who are the players who are like in like groups together, who are like gelling better than the rest, or just to observe, just for uh your own silent analysis. You can kind of understand the dynamic of the team, and then obviously these things carry out on the pitch. They carry over onto the pitch. And yeah, moving away from the point, but basically the next number 10 on the right hand side is going to be Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Habibi Ziyech is got to play. He's got to play. In an interview, in an N'Golo Kante interview, actually, the interviewer asked him who is the most creative player and who's the most intelligent player, and he said, hey, Hakim Ziyech. Hakim Ziyech has got to be. He's one of the most important creative outlets, I think, for this team, and against a low blocks Sheffield United, who are going to obviously sit back and defend and suffer for as much time as they can before trying to counter Chelsea uh, on the break. I think that's pretty much their MO. So we've got to find that killer pass, and I think Ziyech is the one to do that for us. Moving on to the striker position. Obviously, like earlier I said, crossing is not going to be one of the strong suits in this game, because the striker's gonna have to deal with three really big, physical, strong center backs, and so that will be playing into Sheffield United's game. We need to play our game, and that's gonna be playing through the lines and playing these intricate passing patterns, and hence I'm picking Timo Werner to start. And I think Thomas Tuchel is starting. I think he's gonna start him till he actually scores a goal. Honestly, I think that's the plan for him. He's trying to give him as many opportunities to gain confidence as he can. And every game I'm seeing a certain improvement in the attitude of Timo Werner. He's hungry as ever to get on the ball. It's just the last bit that needs to be right. He literally, against Burnley, he kicked the ball onto his standing leg. Like, how does that happen? Just the last tiny details need to be right for him to put a ball into the net. And I think today's game is going to be a very important game for him to leave a mark, leave his footprint on the game, maybe grab a goal or two. um, for those of you while checking out the unseen videos, you should stick around to watch this one scene that I found really cute. um, so there's the players are practicing, they're finishing in front of goal from crosses, and there's a cross coming in from the left hand side. Timo Werner jumps up and leaps and heads the ball into the far corner of the goal against Willy Caballero, and all the players are jumping for joy and encouraging. He's like, yes, Timo, get in, Timo, yes, Timo. And you just love to see the encouragement. And Timo has this childlike smile on his face. It's absolutely wonderful to see. I love to see that chemistry and the way the team is interacting with each other, and building the bonds with each other. But yeah, we love to see that. Anyway, I think now it's since I've given you guys my lineup, I think it's time to move into the fifth stand app and look at the predictions, and see what predictions I'm gonna be giving for this very important fixtures. Okay, we're gonna get into the predictions now. On the fifth stand app, the official Chelsea application. Now, if you don't have the fifth stand app, I will leave a link down below. So do check that link out, download the app, sign in, do all that jazz, and get into the play predictor. It's a section where you can predict the scores, the corners, the possession, and all those some stats in the game. It's quite fun. You have a leaderboard as well, so you're competing against other people. Now, let's just get straight into that. Okay, let's start with, what do we have first? How many goals will each team score? Uh, I think this should be a comfortable 2-0 victory. A comfortable 2-0 victory, I think, is incoming. Who is going to score the first goal for Chelsea? I want to say Timo Werner, but I think it's going to be Mason Mount. Hakeem Ziyech assist. I think that's incoming. In which minute will the first Chelsea goal be scored? I think I'll say if the first 10 minutes will suffer, but I think by the 18th minute we will have penetrated them enough to score the first goal. So 18th minute. Let's go with that. How many shots will Chelsea have overall? Oh, we're gonna have a bunch. We're gonna have a whole lot of shots on target. In overall, not on target, but overall we tend to have a lot of shots that get just skied out of the stadium. 12. But how many Chelsea shots will be on target? I'm gonna go with 5, because we don't get that many on target. Prove me wrong, boys. What overall possession will Chelsea have? 61, easily. And how many Chelsea corners will there be? I think we get a bunch of corners, honestly. So I'm gonna go for 5 or 6. Let's go to 6. 6 will be the sweet spot. Okay, for those of you who haven't yet gone and done your play predictions, go ahead and do that. It's always fun to have more. The more the merrier. And 32% of Chelsea fans think Chelsea will score before 18 minutes. So I mean, that's quite positive, and I hope we do. I hope we can get like 4 or 5-0, or some crazy scoreline, which would be a huge statement for us. But a very good opportunity for us today to score, to win, and to move up in the table and compete for top 4 again. It's a good feeling to be a Chelsea fan in these upcoming few games, and for the last 3-4 games I think we've been improving, and I'm liking the way the team is playing. The high pressing, the strong defense, the creativity and the patience to unlock defenses, especially low block defenses. I'm very happy, and it's a good time to be a Chelsea fan. So maybe a post match incoming today, so stay tuned for that. And I love to make these videos, so if you do like the content that is in this series, do give this video a like down below. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, I don't know what are you doing. Just go ahead and subscribe to the channel right now. Turn on those post notifications, because you will instantly be alerted every time I upload a video, and it's going to be much more regular nowadays. So stay tuned for that, and I will see you guys in the next one. See you, Chelsea fans.